Hey there, welcome to the Working Man Sports Talk podcast, where we like to talk to other working men about sports. And if you aren't a man, who cares? Welcome to the show. Our topic today, we are going to talk about Trey Lance and him being on the trading block possibly, and his how can you say it? His performance in San Francisco. I'm here with my co-host, John Dahl, and he is going to talk to us a little bit about Trey Lance, and I'm going to put my part in there. So go ahead, John.
Yeah, it was really shocking news for me, I feel like, today when the 49ers came out saying that Sam Darnold was their number 2 quarterback, which we all know Brock Purdy was going to be the number 1. And it's kind of like down on me, like, what about Trey Lance? Trey Lance was a top 5 draft pick not too long ago. And, yeah, he got injured. And everyone's saying that this offseason he was looking good. He was training with Patrick Mahomes. It was going great. That he was looking like he was back to his own old self. And now he's on the chopping block of being traded. So I look at like what type of teams could use him, you know? And as I was sitting there thinking about it, looking at it today, a couple of the teams that popped in my head was the first one was the Minnesota Vikings. The reason why I say the Minnesota Vikings is because Kirk Cousins is in his contract year. Therefore, hey, if you bring him in this year, Trey Lance, he can say you're behind Kirk Cousins, learn some things. You can evaluate him throughout the year and see where it goes. But the only thing with that is you have to give up probably some big draft picks or at least a big name on your team just because he was a high top draft pick. That's the only thing with that. And I know the Vikings really don't want to do anything like that, to my belief, just because their team is built and ready to rock. But I do believe, well, if they had more of a mobile quarterback, that offense, that would be legit.
It could be. And like you said, you hit that one right in the head, is that they're going to want to return on that investment. You know what I mean? They're going to want to return. If they get rid of Trey Lance, they're going to want to return on that. Because when they gave up a lot for Trey Lance. They gave up 3 first-round picks and a third to draft Trey Lance in 2021. And that's a lot.
That is a lot. And that's
a lot
in return, but I don't think they're going to get a lot in return. No one's going to want to sit there and give. So, me personally, I'm thinking he could get dropped because if you put him on a practice squad or anything like that, I don't think they can. But if you put him on a practice squad, someone's going to snatch him right up for free. The other team that came to mind was the New England Patriots. The reason why I say that, because, I mean, everyone's saying this is a year for Mac Jones to show out. If Mac Jones doesn't show out, he's done. It's game over for him. I mean,
I think it's a little bit more complicated over there with the Patriots because they got 3 guys clear, like really going at it right now.
Oh, they do. But why not add Trey Lance, who has the leg mobility to open up your offense even more?
I don't know if Bill sees it that way, but we'll see.
But that was my other team I was thinking about, or even the Rams. I know they have Stidham over there, who came from Georgia as their backup as of right now. But Matthew Stafford's getting old. I wouldn't mind seeing a dual quarterback duel for the number 1 spot over there between Trey Lance and Stetson Bennett?
Stetson Bennett?
Stetson Bennett, yeah.
But he's looking pretty good, though, in the preseason.
He's looking really good.
I think he's probably next man up, but that's just me.
I mean, I'm just saying, watch out. That might be a Kurt Warner story over there again.
It could be. That's the rumors. Yeah. That's what's circulating.
I mean, because Matthew Stafford, we'll see if he stays healthy or not, but that's a different topic for another time. My other team is the Broncos. Can you see him sitting behind Russell Wilson? He's almost the same type of quarterback. If Russell Wilson struggles this year like how he did last year, he might be done.
He could be, but I don't necessarily know if you'd want him learning behind Russell Wilson in this part of his career.
Hey, you know what I mean? There's only one way to find out.
It's an experiment, but you better make sure you get a good return or a deal on that experiment because you don't want to waste money on that.
And then this is another team. This is a very, very low team right here, but kind of popped in my head, and I was like, you know what? I can see him being a backup there for a very long time. Mm-hmm. That's the Kansas City Chiefs.
That would be an ideal place. I feel like everybody you just named, because he would have time to really get in there with Mahomes and then get traded off somewhere else. But it could be a place where he could bring his career back.
Yeah, could revive it.
Because I'm sure there's going to be some games where they're blowing out people and they're just going to put him in and then he'll do his thing. So, and Andy Reid is a great offensive coach, great head coach. So
he is. Andy Reid is.
He's a genius.
He's definitely top 3 coaches of all time of the NFL, in my opinion.
Okay.
The Dallas Cowboys. Now I know the Cowboys came out.
I don't know about that.
I know the Cowboys came out and they want to pay Dak all that money. But if I was the Cowboys, I would wait, because what if I think this is a do or die for Dak too. Like, this is Super Bowl or bust. You get the team together. They've been having the team together for a while now. This is do or die for him. It's all
but now they're talking about paying him all that extra money. Is it really do or die, or is this just I think the circus of Dallas? Like, what's going on here?
Dallas and Jerry Jones is worried that they're stuck in that mid-range where they can't get low enough to get a good quarterback on the draft. And if they want to pay a quarterback, or they want to get a quarterback, they're going to have to pay for it. So why not just pay Dak? I think that's where he's scared at right now.
Could be.
Yeah, I can understand that. Another team. Actually, I got 2 more teams.
All right. Who you got?
The Commanders. I know they have Sam Howell over there, who's going to be their number 1 quarterback. But can you imagine if Trey Lance backed him up?
I don't know. I don't know if that'd be a good fit or not. I feel like they got enough issues over there, and I'd be kind of ticked off if I was Trey Lance going to the Commanders, because I'd be like, man, we're already in a crap show going on.
Yeah, but he started his own crap show.
Yeah, but now he's being added to the circus over there in Washington. And it's like, what are you going to learn from those guys over there?
Hey.
But that's just my take on it. But
I'm just saying, if you got drafted in the top 5, you should be ready to start right away.
Well, that's part of the problem with this whole situation. He's not ready. He's not ready.
Oh, yeah. Then my last team, but you probably like this one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I do not want him in Tampa. As awesome as I think you would think that would be on paper, you just don't know about this guy yet.
I mean, think about it. Baker, we know who he is as a quarterback. He will either go 10 for 10, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, or he's going to go 1 for 10, 4 interceptions, and 200 yards. I'm going to be, all right, no, I can't say 200 yards because I don't think I said 1 for 10. I'll say 80 yards. It'll be 1 bomb and go down the goal line and they'll run it in. That's who Baker Mayfield is. There's no even.
You're right. There's no middle ground with him. Either it's going to be good or bad.
Yeah. There's nothing there. Like, it's good or it's bad. And so that's what I can see him going there and being a backup being a backup behind Baker. I know they had Kyle Trask there, who's a decent backup, but he's just a backup. At the end of the day, if Baker Mayfield doesn't step up and show he's that starter that he was when he first started off with Cleveland, then Trey Lance could be that guy there.
That's very much possible, but let's not forget Kyle Trask. 2 things came in the same draft class as Trey Lance, and also had time to sit behind Tom Brady and really learn the game, and gave Baker Mayfield a run for his money at camp, and possibly still could take that spot if Baker Mayfield starts doing Baker Mayfield things instead of doing quarterback things and what a quarterback should do. So that Kyle Trask might not be all that bad.
I don't know. I mean, personally, I just like the dual threat of what Trey Lance brings. I think that could go a long ways for a lot of teams.
Could. But here's the thing. Trey Lance was and still possibly could be one of the best drafted quarterbacks from 2021. Can we agree on that? Is it still possible?
It's still possible. His career is still young.
I say that he could. I say that because the door hasn't even closed yet. But let's remember that door still closes, and it's closing. It closes on all of us. Some of us, it closes quicker than others, but it's still closing. And at the end of the day, it's really up to him to decide what's next. Does he have the it factor for the NFL? So far, it doesn't look like it to me. I mean, if you look at his last 2 preseason games, let's start with the Las Vegas one. He went 10 for 15 for 112 yards and a touchdown, 0 interceptions. Now, on paper, would you agree with me that you're thinking, okay, that's not bad? 10 for 15, 66% completion rate. Pretty decent, 112 yards, no interceptions. I mean, he got us 1 touchdown, got us on the scoreboard, right? Would you say that sounds good on paper?
Paper sounds fantastic. Like that's like, hey, this is our guy.
Okay, now let's look at his second game. He went 12 for 18, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Again, on paper, that's a 60% completion rate, 66% completion rate. Got to get that out. He also looked way more composed in the field. He was making plays, extending plays, hitting the short and mid passes. There was even that pass that when he threaded the needle to Willie Snead on an in route. I mean, that looked like a pro ball right there. Then there was that touchdown that he threw. It was accurate and it was on target. The ball, it came out a little wobbly, but it looked a hell of a lot better than that TD pass that he threw in Vegas. That was terrible. That was completely bad.
Oh, the one that bounced off the defender's chest right into the wide receiver's hands?
Exactly. But here's the thing, though. Let's go back to that first game. Usually, 10 out of 10 times that ball that Trey Lance throws into the end zone in that Vegas game, it's picked off. I'm telling you, it will be picked off 10 out of 10 times. He's lucky. That ball bounced off that guy's chest and flew into his receiver with that tight end's hands, whoever that was out there that got that. Now, I mean, do you agree with me? 10 out of 10 times?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. Like,
I mean, he's getting smoked on that every time you put the ball. I don't care who you are. You can be Patrick Mahomes. You put that ball like how he did, it's getting smoked. You agree?
I do agree. I will say this. If he puts in the work, there is a team out there that would take him. Just saying.
And that's what I'm getting to here is I'm saying that, now you're probably wondering, why is Trey Lance in talks to be traded? I mean, his stats, they are comparable to Sam Darnold this preseason. And while that may be true, let's look at the facts. And here they are. We talked about this a little bit earlier. You're talking about they want to get trade value. The 49ers, like I said, they traded 3 first-round picks and a third to draft Trey Lance in 2021. When you sacrifice a player like that, you expect a return on your investment. I'm not saying Trey Lance is going to go out there and win Super Bowls, in his first 3 years in the league and tear it up. But you want to see some real progress. The guy's been in the system. Here's fact number 2. He had a chance to sit behind vet QB Jimmy Garoppolo and learn the offense. He even played in some games because Garoppolo was hurt. So he had time to develop out there. Fact number 3, injuries. He hurt his ankle in week 2 last year, which ended his season. Could that ankle injury come back and haunt him? Could that be something that could be a real issue? We don't know. Could that hurt the 49ers investment that injury was there? Nobody knows yet because it hasn't really been re-injured. But we don't know. What was that?
I'm just looking at the QB draft class of 2021.
Well, hold on just 1 second. Hold on, because I'm going to get to that in a minute. We could really bring it up there. But I got these other facts. Fact number 4, Brock Purdy. He took over that offense like it was his all along. Now, could it have been a fluke? Sure. But we won't find out until the season starts. With all that being said, though, where is the return on this investment? And we're talking about that list. And I have a list right here. Trevor Lawrence. This is the draft class of the first 3 rounds of the 2021 draft. That's Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, Kellen Mond, and Davis Mills. And at this moment, this list of QBs are looking better than Trey Lance at this moment.
No.
Who's not looking better than Trey Lance right now on this list?
Kellen Mond.
He was throwing some dimes out there with the Browns.
Kellen Mond he's going to be third on his list. They're going to cut him from the Cleveland Browns. Let's just be real.
Okay, anybody else then?
Davis Mills is going to be a backup. Zach Wilson's backup. Aaron Rodgers. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but they're looking better though. They're looking better in the preseason.
Would you say Mac Jones?
Yes.
I don't know about Mac Jones.
I think he's better than Trey Lance.
I think if you do that draft over again, Justin Fields goes number 1.
Maybe.
I think it'd be Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones.
But the thing is, if you look at that list, this is why he's in talks of being traded. Because they want to see something in that return for their investment. It's clear that the fans love that guy out there. But you got to win football games and you have to lead. And these other guys, Davis Mills, yeah, he had a rough year. Kellen Mond finally got picked up. Kyle Trask, he was going to have to stay on the team and then compete with Baker Mayfield. Mac Jones was a starter. Zach Wilson had his fair share of troubles. But they got his favorite quarterback in there, his idol, Aaron Rodgers, who's going to work with him. Got Justin Fields, who is looking top-notch in preseason. And then Trevor Lawrence is doing his thing, who was in the AFC Championship last year.
Yeah, I look at it as, like I said, Trey Lance, he should, if we do that draft, he doesn't go number 3.
Maybe, but they can't redo it.
You can't. And if you're trying, well, what would you trade for Trey Lance? What would you give up? If the 49ers came to you, and you're holding over an organization and say, hey, we have Trey Lance here. What would you give up? What would we give, or what would you give us for Trey Lance?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to give up anybody. I mean, I would want the guy maybe to experiment with, but if I did it maybe like a 3rd round and I don't know, a practice squad guy, 2nd string guy, something like that, but I would not give up much.
I would give up, if I come to a draft pick, I'll give up a 4th round pick. At most, a 4th round pick. I'll give him a 4th round. Then whatever spot that I'm most secured in on a team, give up my backup.
That's fair enough. But will they want that? Who knows?
They probably will, but that's why I'll offer for him. I mean, I know it's not much, but he hasn't proven himself to do anything.
True.
Or he won 1 game, but like I said, there's still hope out there for him because I'm about to read some stats off for you real quick. And
hit me up.
You have a passing rating of 40.8 with 875 yards, 1 touchdown, 11 interceptions in 9 games. And this man was, you know who this was?
Who?
You would never believe it.
Who?
Alex Smith, his rookie year.
Yep. And how many different coordinators did that guy have?
He went through a lot. And guess what? He is known to be an actual really good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but he's a really good quarterback. He'll go out there, he'll win games for you. As you know, I tell you about, he is a great quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback, but he's a great quarterback. And he can go out there and win games for you.
That's true. And the good news in all this with Trey Lance is that he's in talks of being traded, not being cut. So he still has hope in the NFL. Maybe he just needs a little bit more of a hands-on approach like Zach Wilson is getting in New York. That could be the key right there.
It could be.
But that being said, I don't really have much else to say on this topic. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
That's about it for me.
I mean, that's the good news for him. He's not being talked about being cut, being traded. So there's some interest out there. So, like I said, maybe he just needs a little bit more of a hands-on approach like Zach Wilson is getting. But
do you think the 49ers should have jumped on that trade talk before the preseason?
No, I don't think so, because I feel like you don't know what you really have until you know what you have. You know what I mean? And then when you start seeing this stuff unfolding in front of your eyes, it's like, okay.
It's not just your eyes that's unfolding now. It's unfolding in front of everyone.
Yeah, but now everybody sees it. And it's like, okay, because you really didn't know. You don't know it till you're out, you lace them up and you go out there and play.
Yeah, but can you imagine if they said, hey, we have Trey Lance here. We're willing to trade him. We have a solid backup. We're going Purdy as our starter. We can't hold the guy. He's young. Who wants to trade him? Guarantee if they would have traded him before preseason, they probably would have ended up with a 2nd or a 3rd round pick.
That's possible, but at the same time,
they still might.
And at the same time, they didn't want to gamble and think that they lost their investment. So they had to play the long game. And now they're seeing it. And I'm sure somebody out there is going to want to invest in him. I don't think he's out this league just yet. But that's all I have to say on this. You got anything else for us, John?
That's all.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. Comment below what you think about Trey Lance. Do you think he still has a chance in this league? Do you think that he's out the league already? I want to hear your take below. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.